Dawnversations with Anthony. Real talk, good vibes and positivity. Big laughs, deep thoughts, and life's explorations. Bringing you joy through conversations.
Welcome to another episode, a brand new episode of Dawnversations with Anthony. Yes! Happy New Year!
Happy 2025. Here we are.
God, finally. Last year went so fast, though.
It did.
I
Yeah,
mean,
especially the holidays. Like before, from Halloween to New Year's, it just goes by, right?
Yeah, it does. So before we get into New Year's and resolutions and all of that, because I know you have a stance, what are you most proud of from 2024 of yourself?
Golly. Well, I'm proud of a lot of people in my family, but of myself, I got that book out. I got that second book out, Dawn, in 2024, right? In June, I launched the Empty Nest Blueprint for Single Parents. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of
That's a big deal.
it's a big deal, right? It's a lot of time. It's a passion project, and it's sometimes hard to get over that hurdle. So I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
That would
Was
be
it harder to do the second book, or was it harder to start a book?
Start.
Okay.
Definitely the first one's harder, right? I mean, I'm sure your first 10 podcasts were probably harder than the last 10, or maybe not, were they?
My first 10 were Salonversations. So that was when I was talking with my mom and all the people I did hair with, and I was new to it. So I didn't even know what I was doing. And that was probably for the best, because when you do figure it out or think you have it figured out, you get in here too much. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, what would the people like? When I started out at the beginning, I didn't care. I just wanted to
Yeah.
have fun. And so let's bring it around. I want to go back to having fun. I have thoroughly enjoyed having all the guests that I've had, and I've learned a ton, but I want to get back to just fun. Just let's
Yeah.
have some fun. Let's talk about random stuff. And like you had said, a lot of my people that listen might not know much about me. So this will be
Yeah.
an opportunity for them to kind of hear what about me
Audience,
if they care.
meet Dawn, meet the audience. There you go.
Hello. But
What's
yes.
your proudest moment in 2024?
I would say, because I was thinking about it before I asked you, I would say it's probably doing video, because I was really scared to do video. And it was a big undertaking, and I'm not super techie. And so I huge learning curve. I had to learn a lot, and I also had to take on all of my own editing and everything. I've had to learn a lot, and I don't give myself enough credit for that. So
Yeah, you are super techie now. Now you are super
I'm getting
techie, right?
more techie, but I still struggle. But yes, so I'm very proud of myself for that. I got over that hump, and it's so funny that when you're so scared of something, it's just terrifying. It's
Yeah.
such a block. That's all you can think about. All you can think about is how you're going to fail at it.
Yeah.
And then once you do it, it's like, oh, why was I beating myself up?
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like I have a million people that are relying on me to save lives or something. So, I need to back up a little bit and take it in perspective and realize it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, the first few ads I ever made were just horrible, but I thought they were good at the time, and I struggled. And now I look back and I'm like, oh gosh, that's horrible.
Yeah, but technology advances too,
It does.
so it gets better and more user friendly and stuff. But yeah, no, my first episodes the sound was not good, but I've left them up because I don't want to delete the people that I talk to. I want to keep that as a history. But you have to remember where you came from. And I'm not
Absolutely.
big time now, but I wasn't big time then either. And so I'm having fun with it regardless. So, okay. So tell me what your stance is on New Year's resolutions.
There's nothing that just turns people on more than stats. So I'm going to throw out a few stats right away. You knew I would. I have
This
to.
is where I glaze over.
I
and I'm
know.
like,
Yeah. So everyone grab your pillow or but out of in the US, so 70% of people in the US do not make New Year's resolutions. Don't believe in it, have had a bad experience with it, don't do it. So that means 30% do. So 3 out of 10 people make New Year's resolutions. Half of that which would be 15% of the population, actually keeps their New Year's resolutions, right? And what's interesting, so I want you to guess, what do you think is the most popular resolution that people make?
To lose weight.
Yeah, it's diet, exercise, and health.
Right.
The second one, you want to guess the second one?
Hmm.
I know this one might be tough.
No, I can't think of anything.
Why does everyone work?
To retire?
It's all about the money. Right?
Oh, money. Oh, okay.
Financials are the second one.
Okay.
And then it's seeing, and that's so 3/4 of all resolutions are health, 50% because people do more than one. 50% is money. And then it goes down to reconnecting with family and friends, hobbies, career, right? Those are kind of the buckets. And I'll just wrap it up here because people wake up. But the
Good
number
morning.
one group that does resolutions are people 22 to 30 years old. And they all have multiple resolutions, which kind of makes sense from like a career and money standpoint, right?
Yeah.
They're goal oriented, right? Because they're
Right.
young and they want to save money for the house or the wedding or the whatever, right? So I just thought that was kind of fascinating. So throwing the stats aside, the reason why I love New Year's resolutions is because it's a time when everybody gets to reset. It's a time when we get to just think about our lives and take a moment and try and do something different, right? The moment you pick sobriety or the moment I gave up meat or the moment, those were moments for us that impacted our lives, right? But to have the freedom to just pick a time and then just say, I'm going to read 12 books a year, right? Or it's an opportunity, right? It's a reset opportunity for everyone on this planet to change something. So that's why I love it so much. That's why I think it's such a cool thing, because we don't give ourselves that time,
Right. Yeah, because we think we have so much of it. But don't you think for some people they don't do it because they feel like they're setting themselves up to disappoint themselves?
Totally. Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, if I do that or if I tell anybody, like I was hesitant to tell people that I was going to quit drinking. And then when I had a family meeting over Zoom with my kids and I was like, I'm just letting you know, they were like, okay, like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm serious this time.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you've tried to get healthy multiple times at the beginning of every year.
Dawn, I can't tell you how many times I've told myself I'm going to lose weight, right?
Yeah.
And then late that night, you're eating cookies going, gosh, okay, tomorrow for sure.
That's always what it is. And that's why the gym memberships, like we live right by a YMCA and you see it's just, till March. And then it's little less.
That's when you buy a Peloton, right? When they're on sale in March because everyone's getting rid of theirs.
That's it. And I did buy an exercise bike because when it started getting really crummy outside, I was like, I'm not going to go to the Y to work out. I just know myself. Once it's cold, oh no, I can't be out there. So I got myself an exercise bike and I ended up loaning it to my daughter and I have not begged for it back.
Yeah, they're the most expensive either towel rack or clothes hanger in most people's bedroom, right?
Yeah,
They just sit there and collect stuff.
I agree that it's a great time to start anew. It's a new year. It's a new everything. But so's your birthday.
True.
I think of that too.
Celebrating on their birthday. And it is funny because I'll go to a party on New Year's and say, hey, do you have a New Year's resolution? And I think, 7 out of 10 don't, right? I don't have one.
Yeah, or they think they're dumb or whatever. I don't think that they're dumb. I just think that if you want to do something bad enough, you'll do it February 2nd, you'll do it August 3rd. It's just timing. You've got to be ready. And sometimes people aren't unless they're super hungover and want to give up drinking.
I think half the people in the world say they're giving up drinking on the 1st of January. And then the next day or so, they all swing back.
I'm feeling better. So you said you were starting 75 hard. I know people have done it. Tell me what it is and why you're doing it and when.
Yeah, it's like a mental and physical discipline routine. right? Um, it's just to build strength in yourself. So it comes with like 4 or 5 rules. For 75 days, you have to do the following things every day. There's no,
I have to interrupt. Who came up with this?
oh God, I don't know the guy's name.
Is it like a Marine? Is it like
Yeah,
a
it's kind of like a
psychologist?
Marine guy.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
And it's free. There's no book or anything. It's you just go onto the site.
Okay.
But 75 hard is you work out twice a day for 45 minutes, 1 indoors and 1 has to be outdoors. There is no alcohol. There is no diet associated with it, which I really like about it for 75 days. So you don't have to not eat X, Y, Z, but they do say try and eliminate junk. They want you to read 10 pages of a self-help book and drink a gallon of water. So what I found, and I did it last year, is the gallon of water is the damn hardest thing out of all of it because
What?
you're peeing all the time. My gosh. 128 ounces is a lot.
I drink water like crazy.
Oh my gosh. It was a lot. But it does keep you in shape, obviously, right? And it's a good mental way to kind of focus. And I liked the not alcohol thing, right?
Right. Yes. I was going to ask you what was the hardest, and you said it was drinking the water. The workout? Are you joking? Twice a day?
I know. And 1 has to be outdoors. If
And
it's raining, if it's snowing, it doesn't matter. You got to do it. And here's the crazy thing, Dawn. If you do it and if you mess up one thing, you restart.
No.
It resets. So
No,
I
that's
did not.
awesome.
This is hilarious. Someone invited me to do it last year. His whole family was going to do it. And I was kind of the add-on. Yeah, I'll do it with you. That sounds fun. I love challenges, right?
Fun.
He's 27. His mom dropped out after 3 days. Dad dropped out. Brother didn't do it. Sister didn't do it. So his whole network of people all dropped out. His girlfriend had to travel a lot for work, so she couldn't do it, too hard. And so he got to day 50 and then he dropped out because it was just got too hard with work. But anyway, so I found myself alone doing 75 hard.
And you did it.
I did do it. Yeah, I did it for 90
awesome.
days last year. 90 days.
Why did you keep going?
I liked it. I just liked the routine of it. And there was no big celebration or something to pick up alcohol, so to speak. But I love those discipline challenges, right? Run a marathon, give up something for X amount of time or forever, right?
Mhm.
Or put yourself in a routine. I just think it
Challenging.
does build more strength around it. And I mean, one of the things you're most proud of is that you've hit your sobriety, right? You
Right.
quit smoking a long time ago, you hit your sobriety. I mean, you should be proud of that. That's amazing.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
saying that. Yeah, I was just joking with one of the ladies that I care for, and I was like, I just thought it would be hilarious if sometime I just called Nathan and was like, you need to come get me. I'm
Oh
drunk.
gosh.
I'm drunk at her house. We decided to get drunk and she's in her late 80s. Like what a funny story that would be.
That's
Like,
your
I'm
April
so
Fool's joke. That's your April
right.
Fool's joke this year.
But I mean, my goal is just day to day, just stay on task for the day. I did Whole30, which is a way of eating. And that was really interesting. And I thought it was really hard. So Whole30, you don't do dairy, sugar, beans, alcohol, which is a lot of things.
Ah,
They want you to eat meat, which I know you don't, but you don't have to. But
yeah.
it's basically then after the 30 days, it's like a reset. You incorporate, say you cut out beans. So then you bring beans back in. And if you adjust to them fine, then keep eating beans. They're
Mm,
great for you. If you have a glass of milk with a cookie or just a glass of milk or a piece of cheese and your stomach feels like crap and whatever, then dairy is probably not the best thing for you,
yeah.
which, there's so many sides to that too. But yeah, so it's like a reintroduction, which to me felt like a science project, 'cause
Yeah.
it's like, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Cut it all out. And then but for me, any diet, anything, any challenge, if it said no alcohol, it was like, No.
Well, I think sustainability is hard, right? Like you and I can give up anything for a week or a
Right.
day. And yes, you could do 75 hard. You could. It's a
Yeah.
lot, but you could do 75 days. But to do it for the rest of your life, right? Or to
Right.
give up XYZ, those are big things,
Yeah.
and to say, I'm just probably not going to eat as much sugar is fine, but giving up sugar, that's just unrealistic for the rest of your
Yeah.
life,
Yeah. Because you've got the devil on your shoulder, like, you
Yeah.
only live once.
Yeah.
Go for it. Have a cookie with your coffee. And then you got the other one, you fatty, quit it. Stop it. You obviously have a problem. And it's just like, you've got people around you. They're all opinionated,
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
go around somebody that's in their 90s and they're like, are you kidding me? I used to smoke and drink and everything when I was pregnant. And then you've got the pregnant people now that are like, oh no, I can't even have lunch meat. It's like, what is
I can't
happening?
be in a room with someone smoking, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. But so tell me the exercise. Like, what do you have to do for 45 minutes?
Yeah. So what I did last year is I did yoga in the morning. I would wake up and do yoga, and I found that was amazing. I mean, from a flexibility standpoint and just a mind focus standpoint, I always wanted to do it. I'm not a yoga guy. I'll be honest with you. But I really just found it very empowering. And sometimes I didn't even want to do it, but after I did it, I felt great.
So do you watch it on a video?
Yeah. I follow a video.
Because that's hard when you're trying to learn the poses.
It was. Yeah.
And then you're like,
Yeah.
what am I supposed to be?
You're right.
You're like contorting yourself. And you're like, this can't be good for my body if my head is completely moved. I'm like, oh, now this? Okay. Yeah.
First 20 times, I was probably awful.
So you do the same video every morning.
do.
And that way you don't have to watch the video. It just helps with counting or whatever. Okay. I could do that. I would like yoga. I know I would because I love a good stretch. But I have like dumbbells sitting in my bedroom by my dresser, and I just see them every morning when I wake up, and I'm thinking, Dawn, what is your issue? You can't just go and do 10 and then go about your life. No, I sure can't. Because being in bed and comfy
for me is a walk, Dawn. Easiest thing for me is a walk because I can listen to something. I can be on a phone call, right? I can, I'm exercising and I can do other stuff or just be with myself, right? But it's all about carving out that time to do that.
Right.
I mean, yoga, you got to be watching something and you have to be focused. But walking, you can do a lot of things while you walk, right? So that is my outside activity. Rain or shine, I'll go on a brisk, but a 45-minute brisk walk. Right.
My superpower is coming up with a reason why I cannot do something. Exercise. So when I had my dog died last year, but when I had my dog, she was a little Chihuahua pug mix. They call them Chugs. And I would say, oh, Cookie doesn't like to walk unless it's 78 degrees with no wind.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Cookie didn't care. She would be like, what's a walk? I didn't even know you did those. But yeah, so it has to be like prime conditions for me to go outside and move. Because I'm just like, no, not today.
You seem like a fit person, so you must really eat well, or, I mean...
I think I've got good genes, and I do eat fairly well. I eat well all throughout the day, and then at night when we go downstairs to watch TV, our thing is this crap trail mix that we get at the Dollar General. And I'm like, oh, I'll just have 4 peanuts. And then it's like, if I could give up snacking, maybe that's what I should do. Give up snacking. Because Nathan said after the first of the year, he doesn't want to snack anymore at night.
I have tried the don't eat beyond 7, right? Beyond 7 o'clock at night.
What's your weakness? What is it
I just can't do it? It would be something savory. It would be exactly what you're into. It'd be a salty, a trail mix kind of thing. It's not cookies, it's not ice cream. It would just be a salty snack of some sort.
Well, salty snack? Do you eat dinner early?
Not too early. I mean, we kind of drift into the 6 to 7 o'clock range.
Okay. Because we eat dinner like at 4 p.m.
At 4 p.m. Well, gosh, of course you're hungry at 8 o'clock at night.
But from doing what? That's what Nathan's like, Dawn, it's fine. It's not that many calories. But he exercises when he gets home from work every day. He is committed. We could not be more opposite. He is like driven. And I'm like, do you ever just have a day where you're like, I don't want to do that? And he said, a lot of days I don't want to do that, but I'm always glad after it's done. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well, kudos to you. That's great. I'm going to sit here on my rear end and do nothing. And then when you come up, I'll make dinner. So he comes up and he's famished.
Yeah.
So I make dinner and then, then we go downstairs and he's like eating the trail mix. So I'm eating it with him. And he's like, Dawn, it's not that many calories. I'm like, yeah, but you burned 2,000 calories.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I'm sitting here just.
I haven't worked out 4 bowls of trail mix yet. You have.
Right. Yeah. And I literally do nothing other than go to work and come home. I do not yoga, nothing. I got to get my act together.
You don't. I mean,
I don't want to do 75 hard. I don't want to do.
I wonder how many steps you do a day. But that'd be interesting too, right? Do you get your
that many? I'm sure.
work? You'd be surprised. You probably do a lot more when you're no.
No, I take care of the elderly, so I keep up with them. We're not running marathons. I'm just like making sure that they're not falling, and if they need an insurer or whatever. It's not. No, it's not active.
Are you a 3 meals a day person?
No, I usually just do dinner.
You do?
But I'm not trying to do intermittent fasting. I have never bought into them. But otherwise, I don't have planned out meals. I never really have. Yeah,
we are very much alike, right? So I can not eat till I do get hungry around 3 or 4 if I have nothing. Around 3 or 4, I hit my little first famished button. So to speak.
Do you get hangry?
Yeah, I do. So sometimes I just snack on something quick.
Yeah, because Nathan will be like, "You're hangry." I'm like, "I don't get hangry."
Yeah, you do. Yeah, and then dinner, right? And then I think those late night snacks are it's on my diet. That's probably the killer thing, right? But
what do you guys eat? What do you have for dinner? Because you're vegetarian, no meat ever.
Yeah, nothing.
How long have you done that?
No beef, maybe 4 years.
What made you do that?
I did it out of support of my daughter at first, and then I just went on this compassion for animals thing. But I just want to say, my wife and children all enjoy meat. They will slaughter a pig, a cow, a goat, whatever.
They will happily eat all the animals.
Eat that thing and love it. So
yeah.
God bless them, right? So for me, I've made a decision of what I want to do and what I don't want to do, what I feel comfortable doing and what I don't. But I am not a person to push my thoughts. Yeah. The most annoying thing about a vegetarian is the preachiness that comes with it.
I mean, there are some people that take it too far, but people do that for keto. People do that for intermittent fasting. Yeah. People, you can get it in any genre of eating.
We have strokes and heart attacks in my Italian blood family too. And so this, one of the good things about giving up meat, it has changed my numbers, so to speak. Right.
Like
from
cholesterol.
A health perspective. Yeah. And I'm less likely to have a heart attack or a stroke, where I'm kind of fighting my genes in a way.
Yeah.
So that's another good reason for me to do it. Right?
100%.
Yeah.
I know I did not tell you this. I thought I was Italian. Like almost my whole entire life. I thought I was
Italian.
That's what everybody would tell me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody thought I was Italian when I was doing hair. People are like, you're not Italian. You talk with your hands. You're superstitious. Like you look Italian, all this stuff. And so I'm like, oh, I'm Italian.
You have Catholic guilt. All the things Italians have.
So I'm like, this is fantastic. I am Italian. And I would tell people, yep, I'm Italian. 30 years old. We have my grandpa over for dinner for Chinese New Year because my mom celebrates every holiday under the sun. So there's a lot of confusion there.
I love Chinese New Year. Fantastic time.
It is. But we literally, if I was sick, my mom would make me matzo ball soup. She's not Jewish. I'm not Jewish, but I'm having matzo ball soup every time I'm sick. So there's a lot of confusion going on, and it had nothing to do with me. But I never did the genealogy thing. I thought I was Italian, and I did hair with all these people that were Italian. I thought they were my people.
My sons.
Yes. So we're at eating Chinese New Year with my grandpa. Burns is the last name. And I was like, Grandpa, how much Italian are we? And he's like, what? And I said, how much Italian is our side of the family? And he said, we're not Italian. Burns is Irish. It used to be O'Byrne. And I was like, oh. And I was like, Dad, what about your side? And he's like, why did you think you're Italian? I said, well, Mom made spaghetti every Sunday. And people tell me I'm Italian. I just walked into work. I did the walk of shame and told everybody that was Italian at my work. I'm like, you guys, I'm not Italian. They were
So
like,
on your
"What?"
dad's side, so you
German and Irish on my dad's
German and
side.
Irish.
And
Yeah,
just Irish on my mom's side.
that's funny.
Oh, I was mortified. I was like, are you kidding me? I've been telling everyone I'm Italian. They're like, why did you think? I felt like such a fool. But my family all jokes that, oh, except for Dawn, because she's Italian.
She's
You know?
Italian. She's
Yeah.
the adopted Italian one. Yeah.
But when I would tell people that, I always thought I was Italian. They're like, you look Italian, you act Italian. I always thought I was. So in my mind, I'm very jealous of you. I wish I was.
I'm half Italian, half Irish, and it's funny because I got the big nose. I didn't get the Italian complexion. I didn't get the Italian hair. I got the Irish complexion, the Italian nose and chin. My brother got it. He got all the good things, right? The best. You say son, and he tans, right? He's got a little nose, and he still has hair. I mean, and he's 6'1", you know. So
I'm just
it's
picturing
upsetting.
the Mr. Potato Head when you're saying
Yeah,
that. You're like, I got the
exactly.
nose and the chin, and he's you got the spare parts in the box.
Yeah. I think Mattel is going to drop their heritage Mr. Potato Head. Their Irish Mr. Potato Head and their
He's
Italian
red.
Mr. Potato Head.
Oh, that's funny. Well, and really, heritage didn't really, for my family, didn't play a huge part, you know. But then now everybody does all the searching. Like my son really got into it. And I did a podcast episode with a girl that was talking all about how you can research it and find out. It was fascinating.
Yeah.
And now even they are solving crimes with that stuff now,
Yeah.
where they can find like
Yeah,
maybe
like
somebody
someone's sister or cousin did it, and
Yeah.
then they connect it to the killer. Yeah.
Right.
Very
Just
true
by
crime-ish.
saying,
It's
oh
great.
my God, I love that stuff.
I did do 23andMe, and now I'm nervous that some company has all my genetic information. So I canceled my account. So sorry, 23andMe, you're probably not going to be a sponsor. But
Wah, wah.
yeah, but you do find stuff out, right? You're like, gosh, I didn't know I was part Mesopotamian or whatever, you know?
But how do you know if it's real?
I guess you got to just trust the experts, right?
Yeah.
I did have a friend who found out that she was Jewish and she didn't know she was Jewish. So it kind of shocked the whole family. And it was on her father's side. And she confronted her father, and the father kind of didn't accept it at first. But she's all, listen, we took the test, right?
Oh my.
And then her brother took it. And so it is funny how people discover that they are things they never thought they were, right?
Yeah. I
Like, sorry, Don, but you're not Italian.
I had to find out at family dinner, and then everybody looked at me like I was an idiot. I'm like, well, what? Who knew?
Yeah.
I make spaghetti all the time. And I really liked it. So I just thought that I was. I wasn't a big thing for people to research that stuff back in the day. But I would be hesitant to send my what do you send? Blood? Fluids? What do you
Yeah, you spit. You spit in a tube.
Really? That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you just spit in a little tube and send it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
You know what's crazy is your children and then your children's children. So my parents, you know, my mom was almost 100% Irish. My dad was almost 100% Italian, right? And then we're mixed. Now I'm the mixed one, right?
Right.
And then Karen is something else, and I'm two things, and now my kids are four things, right? And then they'll marry someone, and their kid will be 8 to 16 to, you know, whatever things.
Right.
It's unless we introduce another Italian or you introduce another Irish into the mix,
Yeah.
you're not going to gain back up. You're just going to. And so, what is your heritage 4 generations from now, right?
Right.
It's whatever your last name sounds like, even if you aren't that.
Right. Yeah. Very diluted. It's all diluted down every generation.
Yeah,
Huh. Well, have you gone to Italy?
I have. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
was that your favorite? Did you love it?
I did love it. I mean, I love the history of it. Like, I just think, the Roman Empire and just, I think Greece and Italy were just spectacular for that reason. So much history,
Yeah.
so many years, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
My cousin went to Italy, and all I remember when she was talking about it is she said people were just making out all over the place.
Yeah.
She's like, they love, and they were all just everywhere you looked, the Statue of David or whatever's in.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Some of the stereotypes, even though they're stereotypes, are true. I mean, they talk with their hands. They're very this.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
God,
very
I would
touchy.
love to go there. I would
Yeah.
love to go there. I think that would be awesome. Okay. Well, so I love my YouTube. And I know you say you do vision boards. Okay. So I found this girl, came across her video, and I'm going to give her credit because I'm going to put it in the show notes if anybody wants to go watch it. I found it very fascinating. So her name is Karen Bodine, and she's from Body Brain Alliance. That's the name of the YouTube page, Body Brain Alliance. And she said instead of a vision board, she does a becoming board. So a becoming board is filled with images of what your day-to-day will look like when you become the person you want to be.
Oh, interesting.
So she says a vision board is what it will look like when you've accomplished or hit the goal, like the car, the house, whatever. But a becoming board is falling in love with the process. So she gives 4 steps. The video is like 6 minutes, and she just throws it all out there, which I love because I don't want to sit through a big, huge spill. So here we go. Number 1, visualize your future self. So you would say, quote, Dawn 2.0 is the kind of person that runs every day, even if it's raining. Or Dawn 2.0 is the kind of person that gets up at 4:30 every morning. So you start talking about yourself like that.
Isn't Dawn 2.0, who gets up at 4:30 every morning, really cranky though by the time noon rolls around?
That's what my board looks like. It's just got angry faces. Okay, so then
be married to Dawn, 4 a.m. Dawn.
Number 2, then you do, what does the day-to-day look like? What for that Dawn 2.0, if it's going to the gym, what does that Dawn see? Well, I might see a water bottle, or I might see hand weights or whatever. So that's the kind of stuff you put on your board, things that 2.0 version of yourself would see and interact with, and what their day would look like. So then you go to number 3, Pinterest, or you just find images of what that person sees, and you make a Pinterest board or a desktop background or whatever you want of all of that kind of stuff. And then number 4 is you take pictures of your actual life and replace them with the pictures that are on your becoming board. So if you have a picture of somebody working out at the gym as your becoming board, you have a picture, a selfie of yourself on the treadmill, and just swap it out. And you're slowly turning yourself into the becoming board. I thought it was a really cool idea. It's definitely a different way of thinking about it, and maybe it wouldn't seem so defeating,
Yeah, I mean, you have a picture of the Eiffel Tower on your vision board because you've always wanted to go to Paris, right? And it just sits out there, right? And you're longing to do it and hope you do it. But it'd be, it's to manifest walking around in Paris and eating a croissant in a park,
right?
And like visualizing yourself doing that versus just staring at the Eiffel Tower. I mean, I could see how that would be more compelling, right?
Yeah, right. And it just like maybe a slower process, but
yes,
like she said, falling in love with the day-to-day, the actual becoming a different person. You might not become that person that's in Paris, but by doing all of these small things, you might become a better version of yourself by sticking to a schedule or giving up coffee or whatever it is, eating better. If you've got pictures.
Sounds like a future guest. Sounds like we've got a future guest on our hands.
That's true. Yeah. She seemed really sweet. And I think anything that goes into your mind and makes you rethink things is a good thing. Because we can get so stuck in our patterns of how we do things, and that won't work. And I've tried that and this and that. But if you have a new way of thinking about things, I think that's brilliant, in my opinion. And if
Yeah, I do too.
if you think of manifestation, if you believe in that, that's great. A lot of people don't, but it will eventually manifest if you are slowly chipping away at your old
Right.
self and turning into a new.
And that's a goal, right? These are goals, whether they're resolutions or goals or vision boards, right? I mean,
Right.
it's things that you want for yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can be selfish and want a lot of different things, right? So,
Right.
hey, what is funny? I just thought of this while you were talking about the vision board. One of my vision board things is a microphone. Isn't that crazy? I just thought of it.
Do
So
you like to sing?
I had 2 books out there, and the other one was like a microphone. And I think I thought of it more like helping people or going on stage or
Oh, being a
TED
speaker.
Talk or something like. But this just might count, right? I know. I just thought like that's crazy. I just knocked something out of my vision board today with you.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Yeah, I've never done a vision board. It's not nothing against them. I just never, probably just me not having the attention span to sit down and do it. But my mom always said that, my parents said that when I was little, I would go outside with I don't know what it was, pretend something, and I would pretend it was a microphone, and I would try and entertain whoever in the neighborhood was walking by
really?
or whatever. And so they always said, "Oh, it's the Dawn show." My whole entire life, all of my family would be like, if I'm sitting there telling a story and whatever, they're like, "It's the Dawn show." My dad, if he were here on this earth still, would just be beside himself, because my mom just loves that I've got this platform now. And she's like, "This is what you have always." I wanted to be Johnny Carson. It's in my yearbook that I wanted to be Johnny Carson. I wanted to have a talk show. And I didn't go to broadcasting school. I didn't go to journalism school. What a cool thing podcasting is, that you can have this format. And I was inviting people that were from like Italy and Ireland. And I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
That just for free, I can interact with these people and they'll talk to me because they have to, because they're a guest. I don't know. I just think it's amazing. So what do you want to get out of this, being a co-host? Like, what do you...
One of the things I've been looking forward to in 2025 is this, right? There isn't, maybe there's a book number 3 or a book number 4, or, I have family activities, but something I can sink my teeth into and find a partner to do something fun with, and then do this fun thing. I mean, there's a lot of excitement in me internally, in my heart, for this podcast for this year, right?
Oh my gosh, I love that.
I know.
Okay, well,
that's what I'm looking forward to.
I'm going to volunteer this because for my New Year resolution, I'm going to try and be more organized. I am very disorganized, and bringing you onto the show has shown the biggest spotlight on how unorganized I am. Not because of anything you're doing, but if you've ever had somebody like shadow you at a job, even if it was bring your kid to work day, and then you're like, "God, what do I do?" Or "God, why do I do it that way?" If somebody starts asking questions, like you're like, "Okay, you've got 3 accounts. Why do you have?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Because I was always doing it by myself. I never really had to explain myself to anybody. Nobody knew why I was doing what I was doing. And so it's been good. It's been eye-opening. And I'm like, okay, now is the time. I need to clear the clutter. I need to be on task. I need to write myself notes on Post-it so I know what I'm doing, step. And it's going to make my day so much smoother, week, month, year, so much smoother if I am more organized. I just didn't ever see the need until somebody's kind of watching me like, why do you do that?
For the record, though, you don't seem disorganized at all, right? That has never crossed my mind that you're a disorganized person, right? But I get what you're saying. If people see your sock drawer, then they're like, "What the hell's this?" They don't know until they know. So,
or until you have to explain it. And if you've been at a job for 20 years and then somebody comes up to you and they're like, "How come you do it like that? You could always do it like this." And it's like, it's because it's the way I've always done it.
And I
Yeah.
hate that. That's a horrible answer. We've always done it that way, right?
Right. This is just, we're robots. This is the way
Yeah.
we do things. Yeah. So that is my goal. And I feel like that will help spill over on my goal of wanting to be connected to my friends more. You know, like if I have some organized how to plot out my day, then I can add in that day, call so and so or text so and
Yeah.
so, see how they're doing, sit down and write a note, a thank you note or a how are you note,
Yeah.
send a card, whatever. If I'm more organized, then I'll be able to schedule things more and it'll make things better. So that's
Yeah.
mine. That's mine. I'm going to try and
That's
be
great.
more organized.
And what's nice is that's not a succeed or fail. It's just something you can kind of keep prompting yourself throughout the year to kind of tighten it up, right? And
Yeah.
when you feel like things have gotten too cluttery, right? You can just
Right.
clean it out a little bit. I like
Right.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are you going to do?
Oh golly, I feel like Goodreads came out with the thing. How many books have you read? Like, Spotify does the music and Apple does their music, and Goodreads does the how many books have you read? And embarrassingly, I did not have a lot of books on my book year in review that came out in 2024. So I think for me, I'm going to try and crank out a few more books, at least one a month, 12. I should read 12 books this year. How many books do you read a year, Don? You read a lot, huh?
I do read a lot, but I have to be honest, I don't always read the entire book.
When do you read? Do you see? I have a problem because I sit down and I start a book and I have to finish it. So there's no putting it down. There's no reading 3 pages a night before I go to bed. It is, for me, it's like a movie. You start it and you finish it. And so it
Oh,
takes over my life for 24 to
yeah,
48 hours.
that's a big commitment.
It's weird. It's just, I just want to finish it. And I have friends who can do 3 books at once, right? And put stuff down and then pick it up later. And
Yeah, I have always been quantity. Like if my mom and I would go to the library, I would check out like 12 books. And then I'd be like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, next book. That's just bing, bing, bing.
yeah.
But a book that grabs me and I have to read it cover to cover, I would probably sit and read it at bedtime, and really try and get it that way, or just in the middle of the day. If I have a chunk of time in the middle of my day, I would do that. If it's a good book, I can sit and just read all
Yeah.
the time. But
Yeah.
Audible is great too, so that way if you have a long car ride or
Yeah.
Audible, please sponsor our podcast.
Yes. And podcasts are a great alternative to books.
Yeah, there you go. But a lot of people do that too. They only listen to podcasts and they don't do books
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of the books that I get are books that you could just pick up and open to a random page and just get something out of that page. That I love chicken soup for the soul books,
Right.
where it just has a little nugget and you can and it's just like, I know I was meant to, you know how I am. I like to think that things are meant to be. And
Yeah.
so if I just open it and I read it, I'm like, that's the message I needed to see today. And then I just leave it at that. But
Yeah.
I don't know that I've read all of those books in their entirety, but I definitely, half of them probably I've read.
Yeah. But, I mean, people, you don't need to put pressure on yourself to finish a book. If you can read 2 chapters and get something out of it, or even just buying the book and having a book, is sometimes it makes you feel better, right? Even if you
Yeah.
don't crack that book, right? I just
Right.
want a copy of whatever that book is.
Right. So why do you put pressure on yourself to finish it then?
I don't know. Maybe it's a little anal retentive of me kind of thing. Once you
Yeah.
start, you finish.
Even if you don't like it, you'll continue to read it.
I guess if it was absolutely horrible, but usually I'm not, there. I will say I've read a few kind of self-helpy books that were like, okay, you made a point in chapter 2, and then there's nothing left in this thing other than repeating over and over the same thing.
Right.
So those I'm flipping through quick.
Do you think because you've written a book that you are more critical of books now?
I definitely read them differently.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I picked up a friend did a book. It's a very good book. He's a doctor. It's called Do No Harm. And his style of writing was very crisp, especially at the beginning of the book, like short sentences, a lot of short sentences bringing points across. Where I tend to be of a longer person, obviously. I talk a little bit. So it was fascinating because right away I'm thinking of how he writes, his style and how he writes, versus the story, which was great. But it's so you kind of look at something a little different. Just like if if you and I are mostly, if you looked at another podcast, you'd start thinking about how they do that podcast, how they interact with their guests, right?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Because you've seen behind the scenes, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that is interesting. When I read your book, I could tell that it was you writing the book. Like after meeting you, I almost wished that I had read it before I did my podcast episode with you to get to know your personality first through the book and then meet you. But I loved it. I thought it was a great book. I'm not just saying that. I have no reason to lie. But yeah, I just felt like the things that you said and the things that I laughed at, it's like I could picture you actually just saying that. And so but for my listeners, why Anthony is here is because we did episodes together and I just thought that we got along great. And I was looking to change the podcast. I was looking to either quit the podcast or for real. Not like a giver upper kind of thing. Just I think it's run its course. I think it's I've done all the topics that really have interested me the most. I didn't know how else I wanted to take it, and it was getting closer and closer to the year finishing out, and I just thought I just need to figure this out. And then we had done, I think, just our last episode about the single parent and some people in my family. I just had gotten some feedback like, you guys really hit it off. And I thought, do I want a co-host? Maybe I should have a co-host. And he could just be on like once a month is what I was thinking. And then the more we started talking, I was like, he should just be on all the time. And you have just gotten into it so much with everything, all the promotional stuff, and having Anthony be so excited. I know. Excited again, just like, oh my gosh, I remember when I first started and how exciting it was. It was just like, oh, what can we do? Who can we talk to? And so it's given me new oxygen. I'm like so excited for this next season. It's just going to be great.
2025, right? The co-host season. How exciting. Until you read the comments, in 3 weeks, and then it's back to Dawnversations. So it was great talking to all of you.
Yeah, they're like, so yes, for anybody that's watching on YouTube, comment. Tell us what you think. Do you like having the co-host? Do you care? Does it matter? Do you wish I would also go away? Do you like me? No, I think it's great. And we have come up with some really fun ideas for future episodes. If you have ideas of topics, feel free to reach out. My email is dawnversations@gmail.com. Yes. And we do have still the Dawnversations Facebook page and Instagram and all that stuff. It's just the logo's changed. And the episodes will air at 6 a.m. instead of midnight. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that will change.
Still once a week, right?
Once a week, yeah.
Yep. Do a live on the street one with 50-mile-an-hour winds.
Well, and Anthony's retired, and I promised him I'm not trying to make more work or turn this into a job. I just thought if you can give me a half an hour every week, we can just sit and chat and just see where the conversations go.
Yeah,
I'm really excited.
It's going to be great, right? This is 2025. This is going to be our 2025. We're going to have a lot of fun. We'll have a lot of interesting people. Yeah. And hopefully we can make people laugh and smile and resonate, Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Hope.
Yes, exactly. Well, I guess that's all we have for today. If you guys have any input, anything you want to send our way, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, if it's still around. I don't even know if it will be. That's kind of, we're waiting to hear on that. But you can always find us Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. All right.
There we go.
All right. Thanks, Anthony. Bye.
Thank you.